Hi, Paola Jo from SederQuilts. We are still getting ready for our beautiful quilt, a cross of many squares. Based on the original quilt that is hanging at St. Raphael's in Benson, Arizona. And we are needing lots and lots and lots of squares. 768 will actually be used. You'll probably want 800 or 900, maybe even 1,000, so you have a little bit to work with when you're designing. But I would assume that a lot of you are going to be making this to display in your church. So one of the first things to do is to get your base tone colors. I'm going to be using the colors of the season from church. So we want red for Pentecost, we want blue for Advent, we've got green for Epiphany, and of course purple for Lent. We'll need a few golds and maybe all the way down to white for Christmas and Easter. And then you're going to want lots and lots of variety of fabrics that play well with those base colors. But you want to start with some nice solids of those red, blue, green, purple, gold, a little bit of brown, a little bit of black, a little bit of white, and then make sure everything else plays well with it. So for that total of 768, you're going to actually want a little bit more than that so you can play and move them around a little bit as you're going. But you need at least 100 of most of the colors. A little more on the blue, 125 or so, almost 200 probably on the red, 125 on the green, 75 on the purple, about 100 on the gold. The cross and the little border are going to be slightly over 100, about 120 or so, and then a little bit of rust and brown. But you get the picture. You need about 100, 150, maybe to 200 on any one of those groups. But remember that you need from light to dark. You want a nice variety at each. But anyway, you need at least 768 to do it. Ours that I'm going to be making will be out of Batiks and mainly Cherrywoods. I love Cherrywood. It's a hand-dyed cotton fabric that looks like suede. It's made right here in Brainerd, Minnesota by Miss Carla Overland at Cherrywood Fabrics, and I love it. It's just gorgeous. And then lots of batiks. My friend Darlene and I gathered up our stashes and we pulled out the things that weren't going to play well with our basic colors, and we've been sorting ever since. You're going to want a nice variety of color, from really dark and bold and rich to some medium tones, and then down to some really, really light colors. Some of these just have a blush of color to them, and that's really important because as closer we get to the cross, we want to really, really, really have some contrast. We're going to have a main color for the cross and a dark border around it, and then we want to have just these light blush colors and then go out to dark, 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 dark. So start gathering up your fabric, your favorite colors and things. You can make it out of anything. You could make it out of plaids. You could make it out of all floral. There are some really pretty patterns out there with all floral fabrics too. We're going to be using my clotheslining technique where you chain piece the columns. It'll really make your piecing easy. The hardest work is going to be all the prep work, designing and cutting all those 2.5-inch squares. And I'll be telling you a little bit more about a design wall later too. But anyway, start gathering up your stuff and come back and join me. We're going to have so much fun. Toodaloo.